Hey everyone, rudyxx here to talk about another RPGalooza game, Tales of Grace's F. And for those of you that don't know, RPGalooza is a project I started involving playing through a huge list of RPG titles, ranging from Western style to Japanese. And while I'm not a huge RPG connoisseur, I do like to dabble in them every now and then, so hopefully I can provide for you all a more modern day gamer's look at my experiences with them. So with that out of the way, on to Tales of Grace's F. This game was kind of my jump back into the Tales series, as it was the first real newish Tales game I'd played since around 2004, and I realized Grace's came out in like 2009 or something, which is kind of why I picked it. It's new enough that it utilizes some of the newer systems of gameplay in it, but also old enough that it didn't seem to have some of the more clunkiness to it that games like Symphonia had to them. For the most part, I actually went into this game with very little knowledge of it, so I was pleasantly surprised when it turned out to be such an enjoyable experience. From start to finish, there's really not much I didn't enjoy about it. The gameplay for battles changed a bit depending on which character you played as, so it kept things interesting as both the gameplay for Sophia and Asbel was to my liking. And for the most part, the AI on the rest of the group was good enough that I never felt hindered by anyone in the group. Nearly every character in the game is interesting in one way or another, and despite how much I absolutely hate Sharia, any interactions with her were generally enhanced by everyone around her, so I got a good chuckle at her expense at the very least. There were definitely moments where she was insufferable enough that I wanted to quit playing, but generally Pascal or someone would step in and I'd forget Sharia even existed. The skits especially were really good, and there were definitely a few in there that rank amongst my favorite in the Tales of series. One problem I did kind of have with the story was that it started off super strong, and then the time skip happens, and it goes downhill for a while, but then you meet Pascal and it kind of gets back on track. But that period in there between those two events was actually pretty terrible for me at the time, but in hindsight wasn't that bad, and I definitely overreacted. There was definitely a lot of ups and downs, but the overall experience was really good for me, so for RPGalooza, I gave this game an 8 out of 10. The gameplay was solid, the story wasn't too wild, and the music was really good. The overall art style was incredibly well done and had a very Tales of feeling for me that I don't see when I look at some of the newer Tales of games. Anyways, I had a super good experience with this game that definitely put it somewhere in my top 5 for Tales of games. I'd actually possibly put it in the number 1 slot, but I have way too much nostalgia for the Tales of Destiny games, so if anything, it kind of shares first place, even if somewhat indirectly. So anyways, that's basically it for Tales of Grace's. Fun experience, definitely recommend it to everyone that likes Tales games, or even just JRPGs in general. If you enjoyed this video and would like to look forward to many more RPG reviews in the future, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in seeing me actually play through a variety of games in real time, make sure you follow my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/rudyxx. Thanks for watching and see you next time.